Vanakkam. Welcome to the monthly news bulletin of Yarl Marai team. News editor Reverend Father Anton Stephen. Sponsored by Reverend Father J. Emmanuel. I am Dilani Edward Nathan.
I am Rishana Mariadas.
First, the headlines. Viduthalai protest echoes in Jaffna, calling for release of Tamil political prisoners.
Silent protest in Mannar demands justice for mass graves in the north and east.
Jaffna mourns 30th year of Navaly church bombing.
A journey of Synodality. Cardinal Grech's pastoral mission in Sri Lanka.
Church of Hope. New place of worship opens for war-displaced families in Thoondai, Uppumaaveli.
International Symposium highlights 450-year legacy of Vidataltivu.
Now the news in detail. In a statement expressing serious concern titled Reflections Cheered by the Chamonix Mass Grave and issued on July 16, the Justice and Peace Commission of the Catholic Diocese of Jaffna condemned the Sri Lankan government's continued inaction on its repeated promises, lightening its approach to one where talks travel in palanquin while the people walk barefoot. The statement expresses particular disappointment at the remarks made by UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Mr. Volker Turk during his recent visit to Sri Lanka, while he attended unextinguished lamp protest at the Chamonix site and paid tribute to the victims. His official statements failed to call for international involvement in the investigation of mass graves. The Commission further highlighted that more than 200 individuals involved in over 3,000 days of continuous protest for the disappeared have died without learning the fate of their loved one. It cited several grave sites such as Chamonix, Thoondai, Mannar and Thirukediswaram, where accountability has been absent, and retained the lack of justice for war crimes, genocide against Tamils, and enforced disappearances. In addition, the statement criticizes ongoing issues such as land grabs in the northern and eastern provinces, the loss of historical significant Tamil site in Vadukunari, Kurunturmalai, and Thaiyatti, and the government's failure to repeal and reform the Prevention of Terrorism Act. The Commission asserts that these are core Tamil concerns, and the state's response remains sluggish and inadequate. Finally, the Justice and Peace Commission emphasized that these patterns reflect various dimensions of genocide and asserts the international intervention is essential, at least in some of these matters, if true reconciliation and justice are to be realized in Sri Lanka.
A silent protest titled Viduthalai, organized by the Voice of the Voiceless movement, was held in Jaffna on the 24th and 25th of July, calling for the release of Tamil political prisoners. The march began at the historic Sangalian Arch in Jaffna and proceeded to the Kittu Park, where a series of impactful events took place. These included an exhibition depicting prison life, an art display highlighting the plight of Tamil political prisoners, and the symbolic collection of freedom water to nurture the freedom tree, a representation of the long-standing demand for justice and liberation. One of the highlights of the event was the launch of the book Thuruvarum Kaivilangu, authored by Vivekananda Sadis, who spent 15 years in prison as a Tamil political detainee. To provide a sense of prison reality, meals typically served in prison were also prepared and distributed to participants. A wide range of individuals participated in the demonstration, including religious leaders, nuns, family members of political prisoners, political representatives, civil society members, and members of the general public.
Demanding justice for the mass graves discovered in Sri Lanka's northern and eastern provinces. A silent protest march was held in Mannar, organized by the Union of People's Movement of Mandai West, was held in Mannar on July 24. The march commenced at the Adamban Junction and proceeded to the Thirukediswaram mass grave site. There, participants lit candles and laid floral tributes in remembrance of the disappeared, and those whose remains were recovered from the graves. A memorandum addressed to the Presidential Secretariat, the Human Rights Commission, and the United Nations was handed over to Reverend Father Marcus, President of the Mannar Citizens Committee, on behalf of the demonstrators. Civil society groups and members of the local community took part in the silent protest. United India called for truth, justice and accountability.
The 30th anniversary of the bombing of Navaly St. Peter's Church by the Sri Lankan Air Force during the Civil War was solemnly commemorated on July 9 at the church premises. Organized by Reverend Father Anthony Das, the parish priest, the memorial event began with a mass presided over by Reverend Father Leo Armstrong, parish priest of Sillalai. This was followed by a tribute ceremony at the memorial monument where the faithful gathered to pay their respects. The bombing occurred in 1995 during a military operation by the Sri Lankan army in the Waligama region, which caused thousands of civilians to flee their home and seek refuge in schools and churches. St. Peter's Church in Navaly, along with its surrounding areas, became a sanctuary for many displaced persons. On that tragic day, the Sri Lankan Air Force bombed the area, targeting civilians who had sought shelter. The attack claimed the lives of more than 147 innocent people, including women and children, and left over 400 injured. This commemoration was not only a moment of mourning, but also a solemn call to remember the innocent lives lost in the pursuit of peace and justice.
The Secretary General of the Synod of Bishops, His Eminence Cardinal Mario Grech, arrived in Sri Lanka on July 15th. For a pastoral mission aimed to strengthening unity and participation within the local church. Upon his arrival at the Bandaranaike International Airport in Colombo, he was warmly received by the Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, and the Deputy Head of the Apostolic Nunciature in Sri Lanka, Monsignor Roberto Locchini, and several clergy members. During his visit, Cardinal Grech paid homage at St. Anthony's Shrine in Kochikada, where he offered prayers in memory of those who lost their lives in the Easter Sunday bombing. On July 18th and 19th, he delivered a keynote address at the Pastoral Conference of the Archdiocese of Colombo, held at the Archbishop's House Auditorium. As part of his mission on July 21st, Cardinal Grech met with the priests serving across Sri Lanka at the National Seminary in Ambitier, Kandy. The meeting focused on the future directions for the synodal process in Sri Lanka. The gathering included church leaders, Monsignor Roberto Locchini, the Deputy Head of the Apostolic Nunciature in Sri Lanka, Right Reverend Dr. Anton Ranjith Pillenayagam, Auxiliary Bishop of Colombo, Right Reverend Dr. Noel Emmanuel, Bishop of Trincomalee, Right Reverend Dr. Anthony Wyman Cruz, Bishop of Ratnapura, Right Reverend Dr. Raymond Wickramasinghe, Bishop of Galle, and over 350 priests from various dioceses. Throughout his pastoral visit, Cardinal Grech engaged in dialogues with priests, religious, and lay faithful on issues raised during the synodal process and emphasized the importance of fostering unity and active participation within the church in Sri Lanka.
The inauguration ceremony and festive mass of the newly constructed Our Lady of the Rosary Church in Thoondai, Uppumaaveli, Alambil took place on July 30, marking a significant spiritual and communal milestone for the resettled faithful of the region. The ceremony was organized under the guidance of Reverend Father Jude Amaladas, Parish Priest of Uduppukulam, Right Reverend Dr. Justice Gnanaprahasam, Bishop of Jaffna, graced the occasion, blessed and opened the new church, and presided over the festive Eucharistic celebration. A large number of priests, religious sisters, lay faithful, and members of other religious communities attended the event and participated in prayer. The origin of this community dates back to 1990, when the war forced several families from the Mailiti area of Velikamam to relocate and resettle in Thoondai. Since then, the Catholic faithful have long desired a place of worship in their new home. Under the pastoral leadership of Reverend Father Jude Amaladas, the construction of the church began in 2024 with the support of Right Reverend Dr. Justice Gnanaprahasam and generous contributions from local and international well-wishers. A significant portion of the funding was provided by Mr. Christy Arunyanam Mariampillai, currently residing in France. The faithful expressed profound gratitude for the completion of their long-awaited church, which now stands as a symbol of resilience, faith, and unity among the people of the area.
The annual gathering of the Jaffna Diocesan Laity Commission, along with the facilitation of couples celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary, was held on July 27th at St. Mary's Cathedral, Jaffna, organized by Reverend Father Maulis, Director of Laity Commission, and presided over by Mr. Jegin, President of the Association. The event commenced with a solemn procession through the Holy Jubilee door into the cathedral. Members of the Commission and the Jubilarian couples entered reverently to participate in the Eucharistic adoration. The adoration was led by Reverend Father Manuel Pillai David, Director of Our Holy Family Services Center. Following the adoration, the couples were led in festive procession with band music to the Cathedral Hall, where the facilitation ceremony began with the hoisting of the flag and a series of cultural performances. A total of 83 couples who have completed 25 years of married life were honoured and facilitated during the celebration. Reverend Father Jabaratnam, the Vicar General of the Diocese of Jaffna, graced the occasion as the chief guest, alongside several priests, commission members and families.
The General Assembly of the St. Joseph Vast Delegation, Sri Lanka, South Sudan of the Claretian Congregation took place from July 21st to 26th at the Claretian Minor Seminary in Negombo. The gathering was held under the theme, Let Us Be Missionaries Who Bring Hope and Joy, and was presided over by Reverend Father Matthew Vattamatam, the Superior General of the Claretian Congregation. During the assembly, members deliberated on the mission, future action plans, and priorities for the next 3 years, and several key decisions were taken. The Superior General also officially announced the newly appointed delegation team of Claretian in Sri Lanka, South Sudan. Reverend Father Joseph J. Seelan has been appointed as the delegation superior, Reverend Father Vincent D. Paul Cruz as the econom and council member, while Reverend Fathers Devarajan Piris, Danushka D. Silva as council members. All members of the Claretian Congregation of Sri Lanka participated in this significant assembly, which marks a new phase in the delegation's missionary journey. The Claretian Congregation, founded in 1849 in Spain by St. Anthony Mary Claret, currently serves in 72 countries, notably South Sudan, the 72nd country to welcome Claretian presence, is being served under the responsibility of the St. Joseph Vast Delegation of Sri Lanka, marking a significant missionary outreach from the island nation.
The inauguration of the newly constructed St. Peter's Church in Pulopalai was held on July 28, marking a significant spiritual milestone of the local Catholic community. Organized under the guidance of Reverend Father George, the parish priest, the event was graced by the presence of Right Reverend Dr. Justin Gnanapragasam, Bishop of Jaffna, who blessed the new church and presided over the Holy Mass. Many priests, religious sisters and faithful gathered in prayer and celebration to witness this important occasion and give thanks for the completion of the church construction.
The annual prize-giving ceremony of St. Patrick's College, Jaffna, was held on July 24 at the College Matthews Hall under the guidance of the college rector, Reverend Father Thirumahan. The event was presided over by Right Reverend Dr. Justin Gnanaprahasam, Bishop of Jaffna and manager of the college. Prizes were awarded to students who had excelled in academic and extracurricular activities during the 2024 academic year. Right Reverend Dr. Anthony Pillai Gnanaprahasam, Bishop of Mannar, graced the occasion as the chief guest, while Attorney Mr. Mariadas Jude Dines attended as the guest of honor. A large gathering of clergy, religious sisters, parents, alumni and well-wishers were in attendance. As part of the 175th anniversary celebrations of the college's founding, a special commemorative postal stamp and first day cover were released during a cultural event held on July 25 at Matthews Hall. The commemorative event was presided over by Vice Rector Reverend Father Mahan Aloysius. It began with the hoisting of the school flag by Bishop Justin Gnanaprahasam, followed by a series of cultural performances by the students. A special postage stamp featuring St. Patrick, the patron saint of the college, along with the first day cover, was officially released by the bishop. The first copy was received by the government agent of Jaffna, Mr. Pradeepan. Many participated in this significant occasion, including alumni, school principals, teachers and parents, making it a memorable milestone in the college's long and proud history.
The High Commissioner of Canada to Sri Lanka and the Maldives, Mr. Eric Waltz, visited the St. Henry's College, Alai on July 15 as part of his official visit to Sri Lanka. Responding to an invitation extended by the Canadian All Boys Association, Mr. Waltz toured the college and took part in a special event held in the school premises. During the visit, he unveiled a commemorative plaque marking the occasion of his visit. Following the event, Mr. Waltz held a cordial discussion with the clergy of the Navaly Deanery led by Reverend Father Jabaratnam, the Vicar General of the Diocese. The visit was a symbol of continued support and connection between the Canadian Tamil diaspora and their alma mater in Sri Lanka.
The inauguration ceremony of the newly constructed upper floor of the Caritas SEDEC building in Colombo was held on June 27, marking a significant milestone in enhancing Caritas Sri Lanka's capacity to host national and international meetings, training programs, and collaborative initiatives. The event was led by Reverend Father Luke Nelson, National Director of Caritas Sri Lanka. The new facility was officially blessed and opened by Right Reverend Dr. Gerald Anthony Pereira, Bishop of Kurunahala and Chairman of Caritas Sri Lanka SEDEC. The newly added upper floor features a modern conference hall and 12 guest rooms thoughtfully designed to meet the expanding needs of Caritas mission and operations. The occasion also included a formal welcome for Right Reverend Dr. Gerald Anthony Pereira, who also serves as the President of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Sri Lanka, as the new Chairman of Caritas Sri Lanka SEDEC, along with Right Reverend Dr. Anton Wyman Cruz, Bishop of Ratnapura, as the new Vice Chairman. A special felicitation ceremony honored the outgoing Chairman, Right Reverend Dr. Justice Gnanaprahasam, Bishop of Jaffna, and the outgoing Vice Chairman, Right Reverend Dr. Maxwell D. Silva, Auxiliary Bishop of the Archdiocese of Colombo, recognizing their dedicated leadership and service. The event was attended by 13 diocesan directors, priests, and National Caritas staff, demonstrating strong institutional support for Caritas Sri Lanka's ongoing humanitarian and social mission.
Right Reverend Dr. Jude Nishantha Silva, Bishop of Badulla, has been appointed as a member of the Dicastery for Interreligious Dialogues at the Vatican by Pope Leo XIV. The appointment was officially made on July 3rd. Ordained in 2001, Bishop Silva has served in various roles, including as parish priest of Vidataltivu, Bibili, and the Cathedral of Our Lady in Badulla, director of St. Ahmad Minor Seminary in Haputala, judicial vicar of the diocese, chancellor of the diocese, and director of Caritas Uskot Badulla. He was appointed as the Bishop of Badulla in 2023 and currently serves as the chairman of the National Catholic Commission for Social Communication.
The Vidataltivu International Symposium was held at the Mannar Urban Council Auditorium on July 11th and 12th to document and revitalize the 450-year history of the Vidataltivu region. The two-day event focused on the region's unique social, cultural, religious, economic, artistic, architectural, literary, agricultural, environmental, and health-related heritage, as well as its contributions to sports and education. The symposium was chaired by Dr. J. Silan Gnanasilan, professor at the University of Vavuniya and president of the symposium organizing committee. On the first day, Mr. S. Mohanadas, the vice chancellor of Vavuniya University, participated as the chief guest and delivered opening remarks. The event featured a rich academic program, including keynote speeches, paper presentations, panel discussions, and group dialogues. Participants also enjoyed various cultural performances that reflected the traditional and contemporary life of the people of Vidataltivu. On the second day, Right Reverend Dr. Anthony Pillai Gnanaprahasam, Bishop of Mannar, participated as the chief guest. A vibrant cultural segment followed, showcasing folk dances, music, villupattu, musical storytelling, kuthu, Islamic and Hindu dances, English drama, poetry, and karate demonstration. The symposium concluded with networking sessions, formal panel discussion, and a certificate distribution ceremony recognizing contributors and participants. The event drew the participation of government and non-government officials, clergy, religious sisters, university academics, and members of the Vidataltivu diaspora from abroad, along with a large number of residents. The symposium was widely praised for providing a platform to celebrate and preserve the heritage of Vidataltivu while fostering academic and cultural collaboration for future development.
And now, to conclude the monthly news bulletin, here are the headlines once again. Viduthalai protest echoes in Jaffna, calling for release of Tamil political prisoners.
Silent protest in Mannar demands justice for mass graves in the north and east.
Jaffna mourns 30th year of Navaly church bombing.
A Journey of Synodality, Cardinal Grech's Pastoral Mission in Sri Lanka.
Church of Hope, new place of worship opens for war-displaced families in Thoondai, Uppumaaveli.
International Symposium highlights 450-year legacy of Vidataltivu.
Thank you for watching.
Vanakkam.